Today we're moving on and we're going to go into our systems of inequalities lesson. You already know how to graph an inequality, so now you're just going to graph two of them on the same graph. So it really shouldn't be too hard for you. The answer will be where the shaded area satisfies both inequalities. Okay, so do y'all remember how to graph an inequality? So let's talk about it. If it's less than, would it be solid or dashed? So it would be dashed. And then which way would you shade? Up to the sky or down to the ground if it's less than? Down to the ground. So you would shade like this. If it's less than or equal to, what would be different? The line would be solid, but you would still shade down to the ground. Greater than is going to be a dashed line, but instead of shading down, you would shade up. And then greater than or equal to, same thing. Instead of a dashed line, it will be a solid line shaded above. So now do y'all remember when we graphed inequalities before Christmas? Okay, we only did one at a time though. Now we're going to do a system. So there's going to be two of them on the same graph, and the point where both of their shaded areas meet is where the solution would be. Okay? Also, I've noticed when we went over this the first time, a lot of people had issues when it was a vertical line. So if you have like greater than, but it's like this, which way would you shade? Because you can't go up or down. To the right. So just like a number line, greater than is always going to be to the right. So it would go like this. Where less than would go to the left. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go look at our first example. So just start with one of the inequalities. So I'm going to start with this one. It's already in y equals mx plus b form, so I need an m and a b. So what would my slope be of this first equation or inequality? Negative 1 over 1. What would the y-intercept be? Negative 2. So I'm going to go to the y-axis and put a dot on negative 2. And then I'm going to go down 1, right 1. What else could I do instead of down and right? Up and left. So up 1, left 1. Okay, now before I make my solid line, I need to look and say, should this be solid or should this be dashed? Dashed. So I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to draw a dashed line going through this. Since it is greater than, which way would I shade? Up. So now, here's the thing. I don't want you to go crazy shading because we're going to be looking where the two shading parts intersect each other. So all I want you to do is go like this. Don't go shading it like crazy. So we know everything over here should be shaded for this particular inequality. Now we're going to go do the second one. Okay, so what is the slope of the next one? 3 over 1. What is the y-intercept? 6. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to 6. And I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to go up 3, right 1. Now I can't go any more, so instead of going up and right, I could also go down and left. Okay, and then when I make a line out of this one, will it be solid or dashed? Solid. And it is less than or equal to. Down to the ground. So how would I get down to the ground? From here, can I go down to the ground? Yes. Moving away from this line, if I try to go, I'm going to always hit that. So I'm trying to go down to the ground, I can get there. From here, though, I can't get down to the ground. I would always hit the line. So my shaded area would be like this. Now do you see where the two shaded areas meet? So you take your highlighter. Now if you don't have a highlighter, you can use your pencil, but it's just easier to grade when you have the highlighter. And you would say everything in this section is the solution. So everything over here is solutions. It doesn't have to be like perfect shading, just, I need to be able to see where those two meet. Now, I need y'all to understand, everything in that shaded area is an answer, yes? How about on this line right here? Is this an answer? Yes, why? Because the line is solid and it falls in that shaded area. But look right here, would this be a solution? No, why? That line is, it can't be equal to it because it's dashed. Okay, so everything that I shaded in orange, including this solid part of the line. Now if I come down here, that is not a solution because it's not in the shaded area. Make sense? But this would be because it's part of the shaded area and it's a solid line. This would not be, it's part of the shaded area, but it's a dashed line. Make sense? All right, let's answer the question. Is the coordinate 3, 5 a solution? So go to 3, 5. Here's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a solution? Why? Because it's part of the shaded area that satisfies both inequalities. Okay, let's go do the next one. Do y'all, real quick, do y'all see how many spots you could mess up? Right? If I shaded this dash, the whole thing's wrong. If I shaded this solid, the whole thing's wrong. So you've got to take your time, make sure you're doing every part correctly. Okay, on this one, what is my slope? 3/1. What is my y-intercept? 0. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to 0, 0, put a dot, and I'm going to go up 3, right 1. I also could go down 3, left 1. And would this be a solid line or dashed? Dashed. Okay, the sign is less than. So which way am I going to go? Up or down? Down. So right, look, starting at the line, is that going up or is that going down? Up. Okay, starting at the line, is this going up or down? Down. So I'm going to go this way. And I'm not going to shade like crazy. Just going to put a few lines to show that all of that would be shaded for this inequality. Okay, let's do the next one. What is the slope? -2/1. What is the y-intercept? 1. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to 1, put a dot, and I'm going to go down 2, right 1. I also could have gone up 2, left 1. And would this one be solid or dashed? Solid, because it's or equal to. Okay, thinking about this one only, this is a greater than or equal to sign. Greater than means to go up. So look right here. If I start at this line, am I going up or down this way? Down. So if I start at this line, am I going up or down this way? Up. So it's going to be this way. Now the points where they all intersect, the shaded areas intersect, is the answer. So everything over here is not intersecting, is it? So just right here, coming to here, and then everything in between here. Okay, question. Would anything right here on this dot, on this line, be a solution?
No.
Why not? It's dashed. It's a part of the solution set because it's right next to it, but it's dashed. How about right here? Yes, because it's part of the solution set and it's solid. All right, let's go do this one. This one has 3 inequalities. So we're going to look for the shaded area that satisfies all 3 inequalities. All right, here we go. The first one, do y'all remember how to graph when it says y equals -1? It's going to be a straight line passing through the y-axis at -1. Yes? So here's the y-axis. Here's -1. Yes? It's going to be a straight line passing through. There's going to be solid or dashed? Solid. It is greater than, so which way would I shade? Up. Remember, don't go crazy shading. Just have a few lines going up. Okay, now we're going to do the next one. Y is greater than, let's change that to say x is greater than -2 because this doesn't make sense. Okay, change this to say x is greater than -2. That'll make more sense. So where is this going to be? A straight line passing through the x-axis at -2. And would it be solid or dashed? Dashed. Okay, which way would greater than be? To the right. So far, the only thing that satisfies both is over here in this area, yes? Okay, now we have to do this last one. Is this inequality set up for me to graph? No. What do I need to do? Rearrange. So I have 2y is less than or equal to -1x plus 4. Tell me about inequalities. When do I flip the sign?
When you divide by negative.
When you multiply or divide by negative. But I didn't do that, did I? Okay, so now I'm going to divide by +2. So does my sign flip? No. So I have y is less than or equal to -1/2 x plus 2. All right, what's my y-intercept? 2. So I'm going to go here to the y-axis to 2. I'm going to go down 1, right 2. Is it going to be solid or dashed? Solid. It is less than, so which way would I shade? Down. Okay, there is a very small area where it satisfies all 3. Okay, so this one was below, this one was to the right of this line, and it was above this line. So it made a little triangle of the points that satisfied all three of those inequalities. Okay, let's skip the next two and go to this one, this last one on that next page. All right, let's go graph all three of these. The first one says y is greater than negative x. What coefficient goes to that x?
1.
Negative 1. What is the slope?
Negative 1 over 1.
Negative 1 over 1. What is the y-intercept? 0. Now, for some reason, I always have students mess up on these because they think they're supposed to be like this one, but they're not. They have an x, right? This one doesn't. So this one still has a slope and a y-intercept. So I'm going to go to 0, 0, and I'm going to go down 1, right 1. It's going to be a dashed line. And which way would I shade? Up. So look right here. If you're ever confused, start at the line and say, am I going up? No. Start at the line, am I going up? Yes. Okay, the next one, I need a slope of 1 over 1 and a y-intercept of negative 4. And I'm going to have a solid line. And which way would I shade on this one? Up. So look, if you're confused, always start at the line and say, am I going up if I go this way? No. Start at the line, am I going up if I go this way? Yes. Now, you don't have to go put lines over here because you already know it can only go with this one. Are y'all with me? Like if you want to make it to where it's a little bit cleaner looking. Yes, this would be up over here, but that doesn't satisfy my green line. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now I'm going to do my last one. Y is less than 5. That's going to be a straight line passing through the y-axis at 5. So here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be dashed. And which way would that shade? Less than would be? Anybody? Less than would be? Down. So I'm not going to go shade all of it. I'm just going to shade the spots that satisfy all of them. Do y'all see the little triangle in the middle? So from here to there would be satisfying all three inequalities. Okay, last two examples are going to be they give you the picture and they ask you to write the inequalities. Okay, these can get a little confusing, but if you just go slow and take your time, they're not hard. So start with one line. Let's start with this line right here. Do y'all see it? Here's the x-axis. Here's the y-axis. So I'm using this line. What is the y-intercept right here? So my b is negative 1. And then I need an m. So I need a rise over run. I went up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Do y'all agree? So up 2, right 3. So my inequality is y is something to 2/3 x minus 1. Now I've got to figure out what is the something because it's not equal. Are y'all with me? Which way did they shade for this line? Up. So that's greater than. Is it equal to? No, it's dashed. So that's the first one. So I did this one right here. Okay, now I need to go do this one. That is a vertical line passing through what axis? So that's going to be x is it shaded to the right or to the left? The right, so greater than, is it solid or dashed? So, or equal to, and where are we at on the x-axis? 3. That's it, right? There's only 2 of them. Do y'all agree? Okay, do y'all want to try this one on your own? So this one looks like there's 2. This one right here, and this one right here. All right, I'm going to start with this one. What axis is that passing through? The y. So this one right here is y, and it's shaded above, so y is greater than. Is it dashed or solid? I think it's dashed. So it's not equal to. And where am I at here? 0, so I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then this one, what axis is this passing through? And it is dashed, and it's shaded left. So x is less than, and I'm at 2. Okay, put your name on your paper. On 1 through 6, it says tell whether the ordered pair is a solution. So your answer will be what? Anybody? Yes or no. Okay. Okay, move on to 7 through 12. Just want you to match the system with its graph. Now, on these, I had to rearrange them. Yes, so like on number 7, I personally would rearrange this to y equals mx plus b. Check the slope and y-intercept. If it doesn't match one of those lines, then move on. So if 7 matches with A, I would simply write A right here and then cross A out. Make sense? Okay, flip to the back. On 13 through 18, this is where you're going to graph it yourself. I want your final part shaded with a highlighter. Okay, so just to give y'all a glance, this is what mine looks like. Y'all saw it? So you'll have your final answer shaded with a highlighter. Make sure you are checking that if it's solid, it's solid. If it's dashed, it's dashed. Because we're going to be checking all of that stuff. And then number 19, you're going to do it. And then 20, you don't have to do. So number 19, write your equations in standard form, I think, or is it y? No, I think they're y equals mx plus b. They're y equals mx plus b form. Graph it. You can use your calculator. You can use your y equals button. And then you're going to shade the part that satisfies both inequalities. Okay?